Yes, what's happening, people? This is all right here. Through to the combat show, and I'm just here to talk about the press. The press and reaction with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Uh, most of you probably caught it, but if you haven't caught it yet, you should definitely go and catch it up. Very very interesting and weird one. Um, Deontay Wilder shows up with his trainer. Obviously, he got rid of Mike Breland, showed up with his trainer, and he had headphones on. And I thought, all right, well, he's probably listening to some stuff, and once the questions start coming in and all of that, he's gonna start answering questions. So just put that bit to the side. They announced Tyson Fury. He comes on the stage like only Tyson Fury knows how to come on the stage, and he rocked it. He rocked it. He bedazzled, did a little bit of shadow boxing, all of that, and I thought, okay, something's about to go down here. They bring Deontay Wilder onto the stage, just make a little speech. Of course, he did. Um, blood's gonna run, heads coming off. The usual Deontay Wilder stuff. I'm gonna decapitate him. There should be no more controversy after this. All of that stuff. And then he goes back, puts his headphones back on. And I'm thinking to myself, hold on, why have you got the headphones back on? He didn't even take it all the way off. He just took like one ear off. I thought to myself, this is a bit strange. Let's see what happens. So the first question comes in, and Tyson Fury answers. You know, this is one of the easiest fight for him. He didn't know that the fight was going to change hands so quickly. He was supposed to be fighting Joshua 1 minute, and then the next minute is fighting Deontay Wilder. So obviously, we all know what happened there with Deontay Wilder throwing spanners in the works um, by appealing and went to the court of arbitration. And he won the case, and that just threw the whole boxing world into turmoil. And when my colleagues are back on Friday, they can speak a little bit more to this with the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder press conference. But for what I took out of it, um, it's almost for me. I felt like Deontay Wilder was already defeated. That's how I took it. He didn't want Tyson Fury to get in his head. He didn't want Tyson Fury to affect him mentally. So basically, he just blocked out all sounds of Tyson Fury and what Tyson Fury could say that could get in his head and make him almost get out of character. Because for me, he was doing too much. He was doing too much in the he did too much in the last fight. He said a lot, and this time, I mean, his silence was deafening. His silence was deafening, and I've never seen someone so quiet in a press conference, because the whole idea of a press conference is to come and promote the fight. Um, so we see Tyson Fury and and Wilder's trainer going back and forth, and it so happened in that conversation that the trainer brought up Tyson Fury sparring him, them two sparred together, and Tyson Fury at one point busted his eardrums, and that conversation came up. The trainer wasn't happy that conversation came up, even though I feel like he was the one that brought it up, and Tyson Fury just finished it. I felt like he brought it up, and if you bring it up, then you open the door, everything is game. So for me, in that situation, there, I don't think Tyson Fury did anything wrong, and he clowned both of them for busting both of their eardrums. Like, how have I busted a trainer's eardrum and a fighter's eardrum? But he promises big things It promises big things for when that fight happens. Obviously, uh, there's still a few weeks for that fight. I didn't even know it was that close. It's around the corner, and there's a few. There's still a few weeks from now to then, and we're gonna see. We're probably gonna see. Look, Tyson reckons it's gonna be the same fight, maybe easier than before even, but he's promising a stoppage by the seventh round. At least that's what he said in the press conference. So I'm gonna look out for that. And Wilder, I expected more from him in this press conference. He said nothing. He said zilch. He didn't say. I've never seen anything like it. But uh, there you go. That's what Wilder. That's all Wilder gave us. He didn't really give us a lot. Uh, and the other side of this show, real quick, is going to be announcements of all the UFC fights that's just been booked, all the upcoming bouts that's just been booked. So I'm just gonna drop you the dates, tell you the fighters, if they're on a pay-per-view card or if it's on the fight night card. So I'm gonna start with this is one that I'm really excited about. Um, my guy Adrian Yanez is fighting Randy Costa, and this is a fight that all the fans. I mean, when that fight happened in Houston, I think it was a Vittori Kevin Holland fight. A lot of Adrian Yanez's fans try, me included, we actively tried to get him on that card because it's from Houston. We tried to get him on that card. They couldn't make that card. And this is between him and Randy Costa. These two are obsessed with Dr. Pepper and Reese's. If you know about your Reese's peanut chocolate bar, Randy Costa loves that shit. Adrian Yanez loves his Dr. Pepper. I mean, those two organizations should already be sponsoring these two fighters for how much they promote that product there. So that's one fight that I'm definitely looking forward to see. Is on the 24th of July, and that's coming up on the 24th of July. Askarov and Alex Perez. That's one that's coming up on the 31st of July, July 31st, UFC Vegas 33. That's when that's coming up. We got Sean O'Malley and Louis Smoker. That's another one that's coming up on the 10th of July. I think that's on the corner fight. That's on the corner and Dustin Poirier fight. So we are going to see quite a bit of so it's a strikers affair that card looks like. So it's one that I'm definitely looking forward to. Louis Smoker is no punk. He's nobody's punk. So Mali is gonna have his hands full in that fight there. Let's hope they make it. Another fight that's just been announced is Misha Tate and Marion Renault. If everybody remember Misha Tate, when she left UFC all 5 years ago, um, she I think she lost to Amanda Nunes. I think that's probably her last fight, and she went up. She went up to Singapore to become the one championship vice president over there, and she handled herself over there, and the the organization obviously look after her, and probably when all contract negotiations and that were done, she had to come back. But she said she's missed fighting. She wants to get back in the octagon. And when she came back, she did say a lot of people in the gym was telling her, look, they could be blowing smoke up her ass. So I'm just gonna take what she said at face value. They're saying it's like she never left. It's like she didn't she wasn't away at all. So now she's been booked. I can't believe she's been booked to get back this fast. But Mario Rene, she's no slouch. She's been around for a minute, but her record is a little bit, So it's a good welcome fight for Mish Tate, and I believe if she wins that one, they're probably going to look at maybe one of the other fighters that Mario Rene is had a fight with recently, and go with that. And that card, that actual bout is on the Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez card. So please, 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 if you lot are watching, um, don't miss that one. That promises to be a fantastic bout. Um, I'll also go to the 25th. No, let's start with Vicente Luque and Marco Chiesa. This is another one that I'm really, really I'm excited about this one because these two got two different fighting style. Vicente Luque, fantastic jiu-jitsu artist. He's also a striker. He can throw hands. Marco Chiesa, wrestling base, and he's coming to take you down and just ground and pound on you and beat up on you. And that's what he does best. So this is one fight that I see both of these guys really, really putting the work in. So that's one to look out for. That's on the 7th of August. It's UFC 265. Barring COVID, barring all the other things that can make a fight fall off, that fight should be making the UFC 265 card. Um, Now for UFC 266, Marlon Moraes and Merab Devashvili. Now this is again another typical striker versus grappler sort of fight. Um, it's a crazy one. Anybody that knows Merab knows he's a machine. Moraes is one of the top guys in that division, in the bantamweight division. So it promises to be a very, very good bout. So we're gonna come to predictions when it comes closer to those fights. I just wanted to give you a heads up on all this bouts that's just been announced by the UFC. On to the next one is Biggie Boy Jazino Rosenstrike. We've seen what he just done in his last fight, uh, and he's gonna be fighting Curtis Blades in in his next in his next fight. He's gonna be fighting Curtis Blades. That's also on the 266 card, UFC 266 on the 25th of September. That's also coming up. Those guys, we know what they're like. They they just another striker versus grappler or wrestler. So it looks like that's been the theme of the matchmakers at the UFC. It looks like that's been the theme. They they just keep matching these strikers and grapplers together. And even Easy and Vettori fight that's just happened. We see what that's like. It's a classic grappler or wrestler versus striker. So that's been the theme that they're going with at the moment. And let's see what happens in that fight. And the one that I'm really, really excited about, and you guys as well should be excited about this one, is Amanda Nunes fighting Juliana Pena. And Juliana Pena, if you haven't seen it, go on Ariel Awani's page, type in Juliana Pena interview, and see exactly why she got this fight. Because I don't think she's really done enough in the octagon to get this fight against Amanda, but she talked her way into this fight. And anybody that knows Juliana Pena, she's the female Colby Covington. She talks a lot of trash. She gives it the big in. Some of the time she can back it up because I will say Colby backs up what he says a lot of the time as well. So Juliana Pena is that girl, and she talked her way into this fight, and they've granted Amanda Nunes, and Amanda Nunes is going to do work on the 7th of August. And that's on the UFC 265 card. They're probably going to be headlining it, but we can't say particularly just yet because Easy wants to fight in and around that time, August, September sort of time. Usman wants to fight in and around that time as well. So there's a good possibility that that fight is put on, onto that card. We know that this fight is, for me, it's only probably going to go one way. But we're going to talk, give a more in-depth look at that fight when the fight comes through. That's going to be it from me today. And tomorrow I'm going to come up with another video on what's going on in the combat sport world, in the boxing world, and I'll be bringing that up to you. If you guys are new around here, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, do all that good stuff, and show us some love. We're a growing channel. We're here because of you all the time, and we're gonna be our usual show on Friday still stands, where we're gonna we're gonna own our picks from the last fight, and we're gonna predict the next card that's coming up, which is the Korean Zombie versus Dan Hige fight. So until then, hasta la vista, salutes.